Ronda Rousey and Roman Reigns family. At one factor in time, Roman Reigns and Ronda Rousey had been every other's unwavering protectors. Together, it appeared as a leaven, though, that they'd created a contemporary international without peril and brimming with appreciate, love, prosperity. Now, however, that VB International had began to disintegrate gradually. They had been each conscious that their lives couldn't pass on with inside the same way. Their supporters usually expected something from them, and their duties had increased. However, whilst the solar heats up the idea of a dating, a bit rain can help cool it down. Roman and Ronda. We're going via this proper now. Dear friends, we understand we have been collectively and supported every different via tough times, Ronda Rousey stated in a social media put-up one day. However, we're now parting ways. We're seeking out a fresh begin in our strained dating. However, our friendship will in no way end, and we will in no way permit pass of one another. A time of familiarity, sweetness, and happiness got here to an end. Despite their disappointment and moderate surprise, enthusiasts could not get the query out of their heads. Why? Why has this changed? They regarded to be very content collectively after all. In a subsequent interview, Roman Reigns stated, "There was simply as lots stress as there has been love. Sometimes the hen of goals desires to unfold its wings whilst a dating is complete of duties. But we are assured that we are going to go back stronger. Despite the variations in our roots, we shall usually display appreciate for one another. There is electricity in love. However, sometimes that electricity leads us to locate our own paths," Ronda stated, as she stood subsequent to him. "We are assured that our kids will see our love, and that we will usually be one." At closing, enthusiasts realized that the route to like isn't the same. In the center of information and support, it may sometimes be essential to take an exceptional course. Roman and Rona commenced new chapters in their existence a year later. However, the dating that they'd established remained unbroken. Supporters respected their preference and carried on writing stories, wishing them each nicely on their man or woman paths. But if Roman Reigns makes a comeback, he can carry out on WWE Raw. Since his defeat at Crown Jewel Perth, Roman Reigns has now no longer been visible on WWE television. In Australia, Bronson Reed defeated the OTC following an inadvertent help from Juso. Fans want to understand if Reigns will compete at Survivor Series War Games 2025, which the corporation is presently preparing for. The seeds for a likely War Games suit had been sown closing week, whilst Logan Paul joined the vision. Will the babyfaces group up with Reigns to put on the heels? For matters the previous undisputed WWE Universal Champion may want to do on Monday night's display if he makes a comeback are included on this article. If Raw comes back, the OTC can attack the Vision as one in all his options. Roman Reigns nonetheless has unresolved problems with Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman, regardless of the truth that Seth Rollins is not inside the company. In mild of this, Reigns may also attack the Bronze to make a sturdy announcement whilst he returns. In a Destiny Men's Battle Games suit, Reigns may take the babyface aspect towards the Vision. Roman Reigns hasn't regarded inside the International Championship photo in a completely long time. It might not be stunning if the OTC demanding situations CM Punk, who's presently the International Heavyweight Champion on Raw, and asks for a danger to win the prized identify. The Second Town Saint is disliked with the aid of using the pinnacle of the desk, and a singles hatred among them is likely. Therefore, we may also stitch the seeds for a international identify matchup among the two megastars if Reigns makes a comeback. Juso by accident speared Roman Reigns at some point of his struggle fare at Crown Jewel. After that, Jay displayed a extra combative aspect on Raw. However, he misplaced to CM Punk at Saturday night's principal occasion. XLIJ supported Punk towards the Vision on Raw closing week, despite the fact that they misplaced. Reigns may want to consequently criticize the Yeet Grasp for his conduct if he makes a comeback on tonight's episode. By helping the voice of the voiceless, Jay may also have humiliated the Anoa'i Fatu family. According to the OTC, he may even use the purple emblem to field his cousin. This week's Raw can be John Cena's remaining time in Boston as an active wrestler. The franchise participant will surely have an emotional evening, and he may even face a go-back Roman Reigns with inside the WWE. The OTC and the 17-time international champion have clashed several times. A phase with Reigns is probably an exciting method to agenda Cena's remaining Raw look on his domestic floor, as he's going to position up his wrestling boots subsequent month. But Ronda Rousey, I consider Vince become unconcerned with the company's stage of achievement. Ronda Rousey has said unequivocally that she has no aim of rejoining the WWE, following her remaining bout towards Shayna Baszler with inside the summertime season of 2023. The baddest girl on the earth departed the organization, capping what she has, considering known as a tough and chaotic tenure. Rousey attacked Vince McMahon's management for the duration of her remaining months with inside the WWE on Birdcast, claiming that he become extra involved with preserving control than with the company's performance. I do not suppose Vince become without a doubt involved together, along with his monetary achievement or the company's stage of achievement. He become involved approximately the cultural effect he made on others. By doing that, he become trying to influence anyone else of his factor of view at the international forget approximately the lowest line. She clarified that her second run took place for the duration of a hard time for WWE, whilst McMahon's impact became nonetheless very an awful lot felt, leading to a hazy and uncertain behind-the-curtain environment. It become extremely of, whilst Vince become nonetheless round, whilst Quant Heat returned, however now no longer without a doubt. There became a super deal of uncertainty, and anyone become extremely paralyzed considering they didn't need to transport without his consent, however have been not able to do so. It become merely a mess. Although Rousey expressed gratitude for her time with inside the WWE, she is glad to transport on from that section of her life a former worker famous the actual motive of Ronda Rousey's animosity towards WWE. Recently, veteran wrestling creator Vince Russo mentioned Ronda Rousey's hostility towards the WWE. The superstar has regularly voiced her critiques concerning the business. Ronda Rousey lately went on a tirade approximately how WWE desired her to head on Alexa Bliss. She asserted that the creative deliberately set them towards every other, considering Alexa become acting well in object income, and that Bliss become no in shape for her in actual life. In addition, the previous UFC bantamweight champion acknowledged being requested to tap out to Becky Lynch's submission grip, something she categorically refused to do. The pro-creator discovered in a recent writing with Russo consultation that Ronda Rousey becomes suffering after suffering full-size defeats in her UFC profession. Russo stated that once leaving the octagon, Amanda Nunes lit her up. The pro-creator speculated that Ronda could be thinking about We as a venue to restore her profession and reputation. But the organization desired her to observe their requirements, considering they saw her as simply every other superstar. You have to, don't forget her instances at that time in her life, she had simply recovered from defeats. Before dropping 2 straight, she become unstoppable. And with inside the very last one, Amanda absolutely destroyed her. In her opinion, she have to now virtually deal with that. Not simplest did she lose, however she additionally misplaced the very last battles on the manner out, which became awful. She consequently sees wrestling as a way of reviving her wrestling profession. However, the we is not interested by that. She is, however, every other call at the listing to them. That's quite an awful lot. All she is, without a doubt. However, she without a doubt was hoping to increase her profession on an exceptional platform. Greetings, and welcome to my channel, pricey viewers. I hope you are having a super day. I'm Lima. Please enroll in the channel if